What if I told you that a single plant contains more protein than soy, more calcium than milk, and could have changed the course of human history? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. This plant is called the winged bean, and it's one of the most nutritious, self-sustaining crops you've never heard of. This plant could have solved some of the world's biggest food security problems: high protein, high calcium, and it's incredibly easy to grow. But for reasons we're about to uncover, the winged bean never got the attention it deserved. If you want to learn more about the powerful plants that could change our food system, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's dive into the winged bean and why it was buried despite all its incredible benefits. The discovery. In 1975, the United States National Academy of Sciences published a report that could have changed the course of agriculture forever. The winged bean was described as a supermarket on a single stalk. It could feed entire communities with all parts of the plant being edible: root, leaf, pod, seed, and even the tubers. They highlighted how the winged bean was an answer to protein malnutrition in regions where animal protein was hard to come by. It was rich in protein, 35 to 40% by dry weight, surpassing even soy, and offering more calcium than milk. The plant was ideal for sustainable farming, no need for chemical fertilizers, and it was easy to grow in poor soils. So why isn't it widely known today? Well, let's dive into what happened after that report. The science behind. Let's talk about why the winged bean is so special. One of the most impressive things about this plant is that it fixes its own nitrogen. It does this through a partnership with symbiotic bacteria in its roots, which pull nitrogen from the air and convert it into a form the plant can use. This means the winged bean doesn't need synthetic fertilizers, and it actually improves the soil over time. But that's just the start. The winged bean also packs in complete protein, meaning it has all the essential amino acids your body needs. It's comparable to animal protein, but it's plant-based. While soy is often seen as the top plant protein, the winged bean surpasses it in both protein content, 35 to 40% by dry weight, compared to soy's 34%, and versatility. This plant doesn't just provide protein from its seeds, every part of it is useful. You can eat the leaves, flowers, pods, and tubers. The leaves are rich in calcium and iron. The flowers add flavor and color to dishes. The pods are packed with fiber, vitamin A, and vitamin C. And the tubers, which are like small potatoes, can have up to 15 to 20% protein, 7 to 10 times more than regular potatoes. So imagine having a single plant that can provide 5 different types of food without needing fertilizers or much care. So why did something so incredible get buried? It all comes down to the rise of industrial agriculture. In the 20th century, farming started to shift towards monocultures, big fields of a single crop, and reliance on synthetic fertilizers, herbicides, and patented seeds. This model worked great for the corporations selling these products, but it didn't work so well for the environment or for local food sovereignty. The winged bean didn't fit this model. It didn't need chemical fertilizers, and it didn't require annual seed purchases. It was self-sustaining. It didn't create customers for chemical companies, and it didn't require farmers to keep coming back for more inputs each season. And that's a problem if you're an agrochemical corporation. While billions of dollars were poured into genetically modified crops like soy and corn, crops that require ongoing purchases of seeds and chemicals, the winged bean was left out. It couldn't be patented, and it didn't fit the business model of the corporations that controlled agriculture. By the 1990s, while Roundup-ready soybeans were flooding the market, the winged bean was sitting in germplasm banks, neglected and ignored. Real-world impact. Now, let's take a moment to think about what we lost. Every year, millions of people worldwide suffer from protein deficiency and malnutrition, especially in developing countries. The winged bean could have been a game changer. It grows in poor soils, doesn't need irrigation, and offers complete protein and important minerals. In tropical and subtropical regions, this plant could have alleviated food insecurity. But instead, we're still relying on expensive, imported fertilizers and protein supplements. And let's not forget about what happened in 2020. We saw global supply chain disruptions, shelves emptied, prices spiked. In those moments, the winged bean could have provided a local, low-maintenance crop to communities struggling with food shortages. In Southeast Asia, however, the winged bean has been used for centuries in small-scale, community-focused gardens. It's a staple in some cultures, not just a novelty. It's sustainable, nutritious, and fits perfectly into polyculture systems, where multiple crops are grown together to support each other. The hidden potential. Here's where the real tragedy lies. The winged bean was quietly shelved, while genetically modified soy and corn received massive investments. It's ironic that the winged bean, which requires no dependency on chemicals or external inputs, was ignored in favor of crops that required ongoing seed purchases and pesticide applications. These crops kept farmers in a loop of dependency, and that's exactly what the industrial agricultural system wants. The world could have benefited immensely from the winged bean. If it had been adopted on a global scale, it could have reduced our dependency on synthetic fertilizers, improved soil health, and provided a more sustainable food source that doesn't rely on expensive chemicals or long supply chains. But it's not too late. You can start growing the winged bean today. Small seed companies and online exchanges still offer winged bean seeds. It thrives in tropical, subtropical, and even temperate climates with a longer frost-free season. It doesn't need much. Just some sunlight, a climbing structure, and a bit of space to grow. Plus, it thrives in poor soils and can even improve them over time. By growing it, you're taking a stand for food sovereignty. You're voting for a food system that doesn't rely on corporate interests. Every time you plant a winged bean, you're helping to reclaim a sustainable, self-sufficient food system. If you're ready to make a change, share this video. Let us know in the comments if you've ever heard of the winged bean or if you've tried growing it yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to Buried Nature Archive for more on hidden, powerful plants like this one. Let's reclaim the knowledge that was buried and bring these forgotten solutions back into the spotlight. The industrial food system has worked hard to keep us dependent on chemicals and corporate-controlled farming. But with plants like the winged bean, we see that there's a better way. One that doesn't rely on patents or industrial agriculture. It's time to bring these solutions back and put nature's wisdom at the forefront. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more on Nature's Blacklist.